But this story was verified by several rabbis. I'll tell still the names in the end. Story goes like this. Once there was a rich man. This story must have happened in maybe Poland 150 years ago, something. A rich man. And he used to give charity to different yeshivas but the rich man passed away. And as it came, there was also setbacks in his business. And his wife sort of tried to take over the business, but she didn't really succeed. And it wasn't long until she had to sell the whole thing. And she was left without enough money to give charity. She didn't have charity, and she almost didn't have enough money for her own family. And her daughters were getting married. Her daughter was getting married. She didn't have any money for a dowry to make the wedding, to help with the wedding. So she didn't know what to do. She used to always go to her father, her husband used to always go to this one yeshiva, one particular yeshiva. In I think this is in Jerusalem. What did I say in Poland? 1 second. Give me a second. Give me a minute. Okay, maybe it was in Jerusalem. Could be this whole story happened in Jerusalem. Okay, so let me put this thing together. No, it was outside of Israel, right? Outside of Israel. So she would go to this one particular place of learning, and she would give a nice donation. Well, it came one year, and she didn't have any money to give. She didn't have any money to give. So but she asked them if they would say Kaddish for her husband, because he always used to give. So they said yes, and they'll say Kaddish. This happened 1 year, 2 years. The third year, she was very embarrassed. She didn't have any money. She already owed for 3 years, and she had to make a wedding for her child, for her daughter. She didn't have any money for that. She felt very terrible, and she went into the rabbi of this, and she begged him, please, will you say Kaddish for my husband that he passed away? And they said, yes, but you owe for all the past years. She said, yes, I promise, this year I'll give more. I will give. Anyway, she went outside and she was very ashamed. She was very ashamed. And also she needed money for her daughter to get married. And she didn't have, she burst out crying. And so she's standing there crying, and a well-dressed man stops in front of her, a Jew, and says, excuse me, why are you crying? What's wrong? So she told him the whole story. I used to give charity to this place, and now my daughter has to get married. I haven't got any. And they say Kaddish for my husband, and I can't pay for it. And then they're very nice to me, but I feel very bad. And so the man said, how much money you need to marry your daughter off? So she said, thank you very much. No, he said, I'm serious. How much do you need? So she said, 5,000, whatever it is, zlotys or whatever it is. So he said, just one moment. He goes over to the side and he writes a check, 10,000 zlotys, whatever it's $100,000, twice as much as what she needs. And he signs his name on it, and he said, you can cash this over at the bank over there. He said, but they probably won't believe you. It's a big sum. So let's just go up into the synagogue. Let's go up to the yeshiva, and we'll talk to the rabbis. And we'll ask them to sign a paper saying that they saw in front of them. So they went up to the place of learning, and they went to the two head rabbis of this big place of learning. There's like 100 boys sitting and learning, 200 boys sitting and learning. And he said, and the rich man says, I'm giving this check to this lady, and I want you to just verify. I guess he produces some sort of identification papers that it's me. Please sign this and say that this is verify that this check was given by such and such a person in front of me, in front of us. And the woman said, yes, and as soon as I cash it, I can come and give the money, some of the money I owe, 100%. She takes the check and goes to the bank. Goes to the bank with a check for $100,000, a lot of money. The lady goes into the bank. The cashier says, "Well, I have to call the manager." He goes to the manager. Let me take this check to the manager. Takes the check to the manager. The manager calls him into the office. The manager is sitting there. Please sit down. The manager is like sweating and says, "Tell me, where did you get this check from?" Said, "I got this. I was standing there. I was crying. I felt really bad, and this man came and he gave me the check. And here you see these rabbis. They signed that he gave the check. He said there might be problems with the check." The man is like really starting to sweat, and he himself starts to cry. She said, "What's wrong? What happened?" She said, "That man, the signature here, that's my father. And he passed away 4 years ago. And since he passed away, I little by little left Judaism. Left Judaism." That's very hard. I'm a banker. I have obligations. I have friends. I have this. And this year it got to the point where I didn't say Kaddish for my father. Or last year, I didn't say Kaddish for my father. And he was the one that gave you this check. It's his signature. And he passed away 4 years ago. So, of course, he gave the lady the money, or he put it into her account, whatever it was. And he said, "I want to go and see these men. I want to see the men." And he went up to the lady, took him to this yeshiva, place of learning, and he spoke to them. And yes, how did he look? He looked like this. He looked like that. He said, "That man was my father. He passed away 4 years ago." Said, according to the story, this story was verified by Rabbi Sonnenfeld's grandson and another rabbi. Now, I guess they're alive now, that they heard this from their father, heard it from their father. Rabbi Sonnenfeld was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem. And he verified that this story actually happened. So what do we see from this story? That the Jewish people never die. Jewish people never die. So we can say, life is very short, so you have to make the most of it. Or maybe we can say, no, life is infinitely long. Life is infinitely long, and that it never stops. And even Jewish bodies never stop. So therefore, there's something infinite going on over here that's totally above our understanding and totally above our how do you say, our conception of what life is. So especially by the Jewish people. So that's the whole secret of the raising of the dead. And soon it's going to happen for everybody. And here we see was a case that it happened in case of money. And interestingly enough, in the Zohar, where it tells the whole secret of what reincarnation is, which is just stressing this idea that life really never stops. The reincarnation, the whole explanation is in the section of the Torah. The Zohar is a commentary on the 5 books of Moses, right? So in the section of Mishpatim talks about monetary laws. And monetary laws, that's connected intrinsically with the infinite, unending life of the Jewish people. Have a good day with Mashiach now.